So we're going to have a little fun here, and John and I are going to talk about a few things, and just know that I'm really excited about being here, and you'll be happy to know I do a lot of my electronical shopping at Circuit City, and I can tell you guys got great leadership already by the people that I've met, and I know they take a real interest in the job that you guys are doing, and hopefully here over the next few minutes we'll talk about some things, touch on some things that may be applicable to what you guys are going through, and I'm certainly willing to help any way that I can. And on a little side note, with I've been real busy these days. I retired obviously a year ago, and talk about the Cowboys being humbled on Sunday night. I'll tell you what, I got humbled about a year ago. My wife gave birth to a beautiful little girl. She's a year old, celebrated her 1-year birthday last week, and I went from a 3-time Super Bowl champion to about knee-high in dirty diapers, and literally overnight. So you talk about humbling yourself. And the missus didn't care much that I had 3 Super Bowl rings. I was in there getting after it. Not only that, 6 weeks after Jordan was born, our 1-year-old now, his name's Jordan, 6 weeks after she was born, the unforgivable happened, and my wife got pregnant again. And yeah. You know, I mentioned this one other time. I was at a place in Dallas, and we were talking, and all this was occurring at the same time. And when I mentioned it, all the guys were like, "Yeah, way to go!" And all the women, and I know the women in the audience here tonight, they thought that I was like the Antichrist. I mean, they couldn't believe that I could do such a thing, and believe me, a buddy of mine whose wife just had a baby and found out that when Rhonda was pregnant at 6 weeks old, we're 6 weeks into Jordan's birth, and he said, he told his wife, he says, "That's the way I want to do it, honey. Let's just get this thing over with." And I had to tell him, I said, you don't plan those things. I mean, you just don't jump in there. But we now have 2. Alex was born 6 weeks ago, and so I know there's a lot of mothers and fathers out there that have young kids and grown-up kids and know how special it is, and it's obviously a real special time for me right now in my life as well. So, but anyway, I'm happy to be here tonight and sharing this, and we'll get this thing kicked off.
Yep. We've been talking all week, Troy, about success and putting our plans together for success in our fourth quarter, and it occurs to me that you're one of the most successful quarterbacks in NFL history. Could you share with us your secrets for success?
Yeah, and my secrets aren't, I don't know how secretive they are, to be quite honest with you. I really believe that the number one thing in order to be successful is you got to have good work ethic. You got to be willing to work hard. And I think that, as a leader, which you all certainly are in that position as store managers and upper management that are here in the room tonight, and I was obviously put in that position as a quarterback and trying to be a leader for a large group of guys and give them towards a common goal. And the thing that I strongly believe in is that you've got to work hard. You've got to show the guys that are underneath you. You've got to be able to show those the salesmen that work underneath you, that you're going to work every bit as hard as what they are. I had to do that as a quarterback. It's one thing when you come in, and I was the first player chosen in the draft and came in making more money than what a lot of my teammates were, and I'd yet to take a snap, and you really you have to balance the playing field. And so you guys are in a position of authority, you're in a position of leadership, and you've got to allow those guys that work underneath you to know that you're going to put in the time and work every bit as hard as what they are. And my father was he's now since retired, but he was a welder by trade, worked on the oil and gas pipelines, and worked extremely hard. For anybody who knows people in that profession, they know what I'm talking about. And so he instilled that in me at a very young age, and made me believe that anything that I wanted to accomplish, I could accomplish through hard work. Sounds simple enough, but it worked for me. From the time that I was 9 years old, I had always dreamed of being a professional athlete. And there's incremental steps in order to get there. And I think first of all, what you have to define is what does success, what does it mean? You know, there's a lot of questions out there in this world, and that's one of them. You know, what is success? You know, and eventually as we all get older, you know, why am I here? What's the purpose of life? And all that kind of stuff. But as a professional and out there earning our livings, the biggest question is, what is success? And I don't know that anybody ever really sits down long enough to ask themselves what exactly success means. And for me, success is about doing something you love and working at being the very best you can be at it. And it doesn't always mean, you know, too many people, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, try to equate success to dollars. You know, if somebody's wealthy or somebody's made money, then to them, that means they're successful. And I disagree, and I primarily disagree because I live in a world to where I'm exposed to a lot of people who have accumulated a great deal of wealth, and they're in my opinion, not successful. They're not happy. They're not good people. And so first you have to define that. And I can't define it for you.